We're holding Daf Mem Gimel. A new Maimer of the Alter Rebbe, explaining deeper what he explained in the previous Maimer on the Posik Shabseisai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehakel niyo b'dvorei. Zog the Alter Rebbe explained in the end of the previous Maimer what does it mean Shabseisai Tishmeru and why by Migdoshi says Tiro. We have to understand before as a Hakdome, what does it mean shame? What does it mean a name of the Rebishter? And it says in Pirkei Rabbi Lezer, actually, Nivra ha'olam ha'yahu shmei bilvad. What was shmei that was existing besides the Rebishter? So he says, what's shame? Shame is mechaber eiris to kelim. Just like by a person, he needs the name to be user-friendly for identification purpose, to be able to communicate with other people, but when he's by himself, he doesn't need a name. So a name brings Eid. Shiemos is mechaber Eidis with kelim. When the Eid is for itself, it doesn't need a name. Tzemach Tzedek says, that look in the Maimer Betzamayim Azeh Yotzo Kol Tzivus Hashem, there it says that the other Shemes besides Shem Havaya are all in the Kelim the Esesviris. Says the Holy Baal Shem Tov, this Inyan is explained in great length in the Maimori Boshilagani. She says the name of the Baal Shem Tov that it does mean that the Shemes are Kelim because Kelim are Midah. And the shame is the Beide, Kale, the Rebishter. But what does it mean, shame is in Kelim? It's the Eid from the Eid and Sof in the Keli, because Keli have a separate Chayas besides the Eid. This is the Shar Shame is She'inam Nimchoki. But Shem Havaya is not the Eid in the Keli, but it's the mamshich, the Eid in the Keli, not the Chayis of the Keli separate. It goes further, Shemos are Oisias. What are Oisias? There is Shem Ab, Shem Sag, Shem Ma, and Ban. And it depends how you spell Hashem's name. Yud, Hey Aleph, or Yud Hey Hey is Sag, or Yud Hey Yud, and Vov Yud Vov, and Hey Yud is Shem Ab, the numerical value for the Miluyim. So he says, these Shemos, we know the only way to transmit seichel is through oisius. But oisius are nothing compared to the seichel. If you have a brain and you understand, so through the oisius, you could come to a deep seichel. And the seichel is made of midas to work. Seichel says what's good, and the midas, he has an ava to this thing. But oisius is not. ACS is only a levush. Tzemach Tzedek says that the levush is not fully united with the melubash boy, but the midas with seichel is one, like the guf with the nefesh. Why? The guf with the nefesh, the guf is alive. The etzem guf is alive, but the AC is a domem. So therefore, there is a levush she'eino mocha. Explains the Alter Rebbe, even though you can't understand the seichel only through ACS, And there, levushim apnimim, also emotions, you need letters. You think about emotions, you think in words. But the letters itself is still Domem. The same is by the Shiemos of the Rebishter. Shem Ayin Beis, which is Yudin, the Yud is Chochmah, brings down the Eir Hashem and Kleach Chochmah, that Shema. Through this, we could understand what the Eitz Chaim, that Rizal writes about Tzimtzum. That there was a big Tzimtzum in the Ein Sof, and there was a Mokim Ponu. He says that Rizal Eitz Chaim, that this is what it says. There was a big black hole, a Mokim Ponu v'cholul, who lav dafke. It doesn't mean it was totally empty because there's a Rishimu over there. And compared to the Ein Sof that was shining there before, it's called Mokim Cholol. But the Rishimu stay. Says the Alter Rebbe that the Eitz Chaim, and that Rizal doesn't explain what's Rishimu. But in Eimek HaMelech, he explains what's the Rishimu. Rishimu is the idea of letters. The letters stayed without the earth, but in them was everything. All the worlds are in the Rishimu. And this is what it says in Sefer Yetzirah. That's Reish Lamed Aleph Shorim Ponim V'Ochet. The Tzimtzum made that the Gila and Seif should not be through the Asius, and the Asius stay themselves. And this is Pshat in Eitz Chaim She'er Nistalek. What does it mean, Er Nistalek? He went from one place to another. The Eid is Eine Begeder Mokim, and the Eibishter is everywhere. What does it mean, Nistalek? He's not Nisgalet through the Asius. Before the Tzimtzum, you had the Ein Sof shining full blast through the Asius. But the Asius remain alone without the Gilead. That's the Shiemos. So this is al derech moshel. By a person, the Asius are only they're like a lavus. Through them, you could understand the seichel if you're smart. But if you're not smart, you see the words Aleph, Beis, Gimel, and you don't understand it. You have the letters. But the seichel is istalkus, that you have a tzimtzum, you have a helen, you have the letters, but you have no connection to the seichel. So the seichel is helen istalkus, that's the tzimtzum. What do you have in the asius? To understand the better moshel, you're looking at tesis. You see haskolas ri bala tesis. It was about seichel nifla. Tesis explains you something with ink and paper. The ink and paper is nothing compared to the seichel and the shoma of Ribala Teisres that's in Gan Eden. But if you're smart, you can understand what the Ribala Teisres wants to say because you have your own mind through the letters, even though they're Gashmi. But if you're not smart, you just have the letters. You know good how to read the letters, but the deep scholar you don't understand. Same ways by the Eibishter, by the Tzimtzum Lamaila. That the tzimtzum, the air left, it's not nizgala through the asius, but it's there, but it's not nizgala. Just like al derech moshel through the asius, you don't understand the seichel only if you are smart on your own. But if not, you have the letters, you don't understand anything. And that's amazing tzimtzum. The Rishimu was left at the asius. There, the asius, like it says in the Eimek HaMelech, that it's Shem Sag, and from the last Yud of Shem Sag was created Elam Atayah. And this is Pshat in Zeir Bok of a Leibok. Says in this Zeir, says the Tzemach Tzedek from the Arizal. Zeir says Tov Rishimu La'atik Yemin. Says Rab Chaim Vital, that I found from my master Zichreini L'Chai Lamhaba from the Arizal. In Ikfar Yodaita, you know that in the lowest level of the Maitzil, there's already all the Elomes, which is Malchut Shebe Malchut Shebe Ein Sof Lifnei Atzimtzum. Even though there's no Teir on Sfira, Kumtuis at the last tuf of the Asius, of the Shalifnei Atzimtzum, that's the source of everything. So just like Malchus has everything, Malchus Shebe Malchus Shebe Ein Sof has everything. That's why in Elam Atzilus Malchus the Ak comes down in to be a keser in the atik in the head of Arichampin. That's Tov in the letters Ak. Tov Roshim Rishimu Atik Yemin. That there's the Tov of Ak becomes a Rishimu to Atik Yemin. It's the source of Atik Yemin. And therefore the AC start Tashrak because it's Chesem Amishapich, it turns over upside down. Till here, I found written in the name of my master, the Arizal, as our private town. And this is, we understand that the last level is the ACS, and the Tov is the last level of the ACS, and this says that is the source of everything, and it's Malchus Shebe Malchus, and that's Tov Rishim Rishimu. These letters, that's Rishimu. Why does it say Tov Rishim Rishimu? Because this is Rishimu, it's only the ACS. So that's the Tzimtzum. Wow. Says further in the Maimer, it's a Hezbollah, the previous Maimer. This is the union of Beit Kedeshim Ishtabach Shimcha. That all the Kedeshim are only from Shimcha the Ein Arech. And every Yeshmiyayin, even the Shamas Yisrael, the Al Machshava, they're only Shimcha. Because Kedesh is Chochman Kedeshim. There's Chochman till the highest levels, Chochman Atzilas. Even Chochman Akudim, even Chochman Adam Kadman and higher. There's a lot of level of Chochman. There's Chochman Adam Kadman and two. Kedeshim, Loshen Rabbim, and their creation is Beri Kedeshim, Bria Yeshmiyayin, because even Chochman Adam Kadman compared to Eidin Sof Shalifnei Atzimtzum is called Bria because the Eibishter is higher than the highest and loftiest level of Chochman. And the loftiest level of Chochman is only Mipchinas Harashimu. They're the Asis after the Ein Sof and Dosip Shak. Brias Kolech Kedeshim is only Shimcha, which is Asis. Like the Chaim says that even Ak is called Adam the Bria the Klolos, even though Bria lower than Atzilus is Nifrodim. Umishom Yipored. So Lechid Adam Kadman is such a lofty level, but compared to Atzmos Hamaitza, which is Ein Sof Shalifnei Atzimtzum, Ak is called Adam the Bria Obeide. Atzilus is called Adam the Asiya, like it says Kolam B'Chochma. Asiya because Atzilus has a bunch of kelim. And there's his scholars, that's why it's called Asiya. Elam Akudim is higher than Asiya because it's no Ischalkos, all Esespheres are Akudim B'Kliyechot. It's called Adam the Yitzira, and Ak is higher than Akudim because Akudim is 10 Spheres Akudim B'Kliyechot. But Ak, there's nothing, everything is Biskira Achas. In one blink, everything is cold there. But it's a mokif and Esespheres Latzilis and Sof Kol Sof through all the Yishtalsos of Akudim. And the Kudim kum to Sarop in Atzilis Heister Odom de Bria, because compared to Yosef Shalifnei Atzimtzum, he's also called Bria Yeshmiyayin. That's why we'll understand why Neshama came down the Gufet Tzedek Aliyah, even though before it came down, they're all over Machshova. They're in the highest level of Machshova. Like he'll soon explain. Because there is Machshava de Bria, and there's Machshava de Yitzida, and Machshava de Atzilis. So they're from a higher level. They're from a very high level. And like we explained in the previous Maimer, there's 600,000 the Shomas, so there's 600,000 letters in the Torah, so they're from very high. Even though the Chumash is only 300,000 letters, but there's the Nekudis letters. Like Aleph, Hey, Vav, Yud, and Nekudis. And sometimes they're missing. but then and we don't know which one of the Kudus exactly is counted in the number of 600,000. And it's a Tzedek says, like it says in the Gemara in Subis, Yinochim Ksiv, that it's as if it says Yinachem with an aleph. So we see it in the Kudus like a letter. So that's why it's Shishim Rubeis Atera, but we don't know which one is counted. So the Cheda, Vayat Shturim Dike Shaila, Teid is connected with Atzmus Mahu, Sayyid is Teid, and he's from the highest level of Machshava. How could he have an Aliyah? To understand how a Yid could have an Aliyah, we have to understand the idea of Shabbos. There's Shabbos Ilo and Shabbos Tato. Like he said in the previous Maimer, there's two psukim by Shabbos, that Shabbos Tato, and then that Shabbos Ilo. Because Shabbos is Aliyah Sa'ilomes. Asiya goes up to Yitzira, Yitzira goes up to Bria, and Bria goes up to Atzilis. And even Ak is also Eile, Hayen, Maitzilo, Elyon, and Eidin, Sofshalifne Atzimtzum. Because Shabbos is like someone that rests from a hard work. He worked very hard when he did Malocha. The Seichel came down Asiya Samalocha. And then the Seichel goes back to its source to refresh and to think about spiritual matters higher than working physical stuff. That's the Ali and Shabbos Adrum HaMayla. Says the Alter Rebbe. But Atzilis, B'riyo Yitzira Asiya, going up in Atzilis is Shabbos Tato. Because Atzilis is Shalei Berach von Atzmus Sof. But Atzilis is a Likus. And Bia is Nifrodim, like it says, Mishom Yiporid. They're Bali Gvul. And in the highest level of Bria Yitzir Asiya, there's the idea of Pchira Chofshis to do Hepech, the Eibishter's will. The Gemara says about Malach Matatrein, Matak. They gave him Malchus Shitin Pulsa Denura. It's higher than Atzilis, which is totally Ivachayi Chad, Garmei Chad. So the Bri Yitzirasi going up in Atzilis is a maid in the Kaliyah, that the Nivra goes in the Beide and he's connected with the Eibishter. Says the Tzemach Tzedek, because in Atzilis there's Ein Sof shining, because we know what it says in the Kabbalah that the Kav finishes in Atzilis. So when the Esesphere is the Bri Yitzirasi go up in Atzilis, they're connected to the Ein Sof Mamash. How do they have this aliyah? Through bittul. Because biyade yesh mishayev michoel be'av or Gabriel b'gira. But there's higher level the idea of bittul Avrom is avel meishes v'nachnu mo bittul. And meishes in the shomer d'atzilis, that's why it's kvad peh. That's why the says meishes inside and Yaakov is milvar, because meishes higher. This is the aliyah to atzilis. And that's why every day the order from Shabbos is an Ayidav Shmones, where he has the bowing to the Reibish, the Beetle that killed Momadaka. That's why Shmones is and Atzilis is like Shabbos. And the Aliyah, the Torah mix every day through the Tefillah, even though Torah is higher from Tefillah. But Mikomokoim, since Torah is Nislabesh in Akil Gashmi, and you have to say the words. So to elevate that curl, you need tefillah, which is v'keilo le'yishoma eilas tomid, aliyah from tomid, from tefillah. Says the Alter Rebbe, this is the idea of Shabbos Tato. Bria Yitzira Asiya going up. In Atzilos is the inyan from Shabbos Tato. This is Kabbalah Shabbos. Shemisifi Michela Lakedesh. Even before Shabbos. That's why you say in the Mizmer, Chof Tes Hovu three times. 3 Elmas Be'Ishtachvul Hashem B'Hadras Kedesh is Atzilis. That's why Ishtachvul Hashem B'Hadras Kedesh Asher Tevis Kabbalah Shabbos. Aliyah's B'Yan Atzilis Tzemach tzedek has Kabbalahs and Atzilus. That's what there's a machlekes apoiskim if it's also from lochem ederaisa, because it's just the level of bria yitzira going up into Atzilus. But then you have when Shabbos starts, then there's Aliyah Atzilus, Malchus, Maidiv is Aliyah Samalchus Chakal Tapuchim. And then you have by day where there's Zoh, and Abba V'Imar Eila, and even Ak is Eila, and Maitzil Ho'elian, because Ak is also Bria. That's why Friday night we say V'Yonuchu Vo, because it's Aliyah Samalchus. And by day we say V'Yonuchu Voi because it's Zoh, Abba V'Ima. And by Shalosh Shuvas we say Vom because it's, even though Vom is Zoh, but the Rebbe Rashab explains that it's connected, the connection in Atik, Daliyah Sa'atik. Those are the three levels of Shabbos. Says it's Tzemach Tzedek, Shabbos Tato is Biyah going in Atzilus. Shabbos Ilo is also Biyah Atzilus. Chochma is called Bora Bria Shmiyayin. So Chochma is Bora, is Bria, goes up into Kesef. It's Atzilus Shabbat Atzilus. And all the levels go up, even Ak goes up in Atzilus. Because Bichlolos Ho'ilomois, Ak is called Bria. And that's why Atzilus is only a Gilui for Mein Sof, Vayetz Lafrosh Sa'ora. Shabbos is Atzilus. In general, it's all Atzilus. Because you have Biyah HaPerotim going up in Atzilus, and Biyah HaKlolim also going up in Atzilus. And this is the first pasuk Kivei Shosakam Lach Asher Boro Kim Lase. Asher Boro, which is called Adam de Bria made. Lase, to make Adam the Atzilus, which is Adam the Atzilus, because Ak is Asheris, Omokil Atzilus, that's Shabbos Ilo were Ak, which is Bora. It was Bora, last is to make Atzilus is also Oile, and that's Shabbos Ilo. Shabbos, that was the part of Ishbis and Mekom Lach Asher also. Even though Atzilus is called Asiyah, and Shabbos Tato is Aliyah's Biyah, Zogt the Tzemach Tzedek, Friday night, which Aliyah's Amalchus Atzilus is also Shabbos Tato. Because it says, Vayishbes Vayim Hashim Mekom Lach Asher also Shabbos Tato. Because Malchus is Asiyah Shabbat Atzilus. Shabbat the Yemes Zoh and Chochma, that's the beginning of Shabbos. Ilom Mekom Lach Asher Bora. It's Bria Atzilus. In Zoyar Pasha Bereshis Taf Hey Omid Beis says the Tzemach Tzedek, it says Shabsoi, it's Shabbos Ilo and Shabbos Tato, and Es is to add Chum Shabbos. So the Pasha Pshat is that Es is Marbe, that you're not allowed to go out of Chum Shabbos. Says the Alter Rebbe Pshat in the Zoyar, that Shabbos Ilo, Shabbos Tato is Shabbos day and Friday night. And Es is the Kabbalah Shabbos from Mesif Mechel HaKedesh Aliyah's Biyah Be'atzilas. And Taki Migdash Melech, the Ramaki says that Shabbos Ilo Tato is Atik and Zoh, and Shabbos Tato and Bria and Atzilus, that's Kabbalah Shabbos. So Es is, we also pick up the Malchus and Bria Tzirasi, we also pick up by Kabbalah Shabbos before Shabbos.